Greece Athena High School in Rochester, New York has a new, most unlikely hero, a special ed student by the name of Jason McElwain.
Let's keep it going.
Jason is the basketball team manager. For the past couple years, he's been assisting Coach Jim Johnson, helping with whatever the team needs.
And go!
Get them motivated and hand out water and just be enthusiastic.
Enthusiastic, to say the least. Despite being born with autism, Jason's father says his son has never had a problem expressing himself at basketball games.
You know, I was always concerned that he might get a technical and they lose a game because he, start yelling or whatever.
Let's have a hard practice tomorrow, all hour and a half, and let's get ready for Arcadia. Okay. Let's go.
1, 2, 3, 2.
Because he has been so devoted to the team, for the last game of the season, Coach Johnson decided to let Jason actually suit up. Not to play necessarily, just to let him feel what it's like to wear a jersey. At least that was the plan. But with 4 minutes to go in last week's game, Coach Johnson stood up and pointed to number 52, Jason McElwain. After years of fetching water and toweling off other people's sweat, Jason was actually in a game. His first shot was a 20-footer from the right baseline. Was it close? Did you almost make it?
I just airballed it.
I'm like, just, dear God, please, let's just get him a basket.
His second shot missed too, but the third was a charm. A three-point no-doubter. And Jason wasn't done yet. Not by a long shot.
If I wasn't there to witness it, I wouldn't have believed it,
You caught fire.
I just caught fire. I was hot as a pistol.
Jason ended up shooting 6 3-pointers. One right after the other. He had 20 points total, and each time a shot went in, his teammates and the crowd went a little crazier. His last basket, right at the buzzer, created total mayhem. Because he is autistic, Jason says he's used to feeling different, but never this different. Never this wonderful. Steve Hartman, CBS News, Rochester, New York.
We should be at least as enthusiastic as him. Yeah. Do you think so?
I do.
Baseball season started last week, I think. Who's excited about that? Yeah. Two people. Okay, I just heard one commentator make this joke. You may or may not get it, but anyway. He said, I come from Chicago, the home of Michael Jordan, the greatest basketball player of all time. So we grew up watching a lot of basketball as a kid. Chicago is also the home of Walter Payton, the greatest football player who ever lived. So we grew up watching a lot of football. Chicago is also the home of the Chicago Cubs baseball team. So we grew up watching a lot of basketball and football. You got it? Okay, good. Good. Some of you, don't worry. Not important. Who saw the ABC special last night about the blessing? Mixed bag, so-so. It was interesting. Our usual guitarist was featured on there, Adama, yesterday. By the way, the music today was more old-style, unification style. Was it not?
No.
No? But with a guitarist and a few singers and everybody sing along. I mean, who here remembers workshops where the sing-alongs brought you to tears? Where you felt really high from singing songs? 3 of you, okay. I think I'm in the wrong church too. But anyway, nice to see you. My name's Kevin. Glad you could make it today. Do we have any Starbucks for these people? So, we have a couple of special guests with us this morning. I'd like to just introduce. Yesterday and Friday night we had a marriage education workshop. I'm hearing wonderful things about it. And the teachers of that workshop, many of you already know, it was John and Sandra Lone. So let's And I heard that Sandra was a great songwriter back in the day, and
Still is.
maybe still is. Okay, wonderful. And also with us today we have Dr. Dong Woo Kim. True Mother has sent him here. He's going to teach about Universal Peace Academy after service. So let's welcome up Kim. So he'll make his presentation right after the service, about 20 minutes after service, right here in the sanctuary. So stick around. 2 weeks ago I was in Hawaii, and our pastor there, Chuck Fruman, he gave a little message, and he titled the message, "Today is the Day." And he talked about someone who is a treasure hunter, looking for sunken ships in the bottom of the ocean that were filled with gold and lots of goodies. And so he had a company that would search for these ships off the coast of Florida. And he had a crew that was basically searching the floor of the ocean, bit by bit. And often the people would get disheartened. The crew would want to give up. So he started every day with this motto that they all said together: "Today is the day." And he wanted to give them hope, give them faith, and keep them going. And eventually, they found 2 ships that had billions and billions of dollars worth of special coins. Now the government's trying to take it off them, but anyway, they found the coins, and he used this "Today is the day" motto to keep up their spirit, to keep them with a positive mind, give them faith and hope. Actually, religious people, especially this religion, we should be the most hopeful. Shouldn't we?
Yeah.
We should have a positive mind all the time. But you know, religious people sometimes, I've heard, can be negative. And sometimes they even use their teachings in a negative way. They, judge people or hit people on the head with their teachings. We wouldn't do that, but some people do that. But religious people should have the most positive mind. Don't you think? Yeah. If you've got a positive mind, it affects other people. Doesn't it? Actually, I saw this experiment that was done with these brain researchers. And they wired up some people's brains, and they sent into a room full of people someone who was just filled with anger and negativity and judgment towards each of them. And they had their brains wired up to see what reaction would happen. So this person comes in, he's all negative and kind of criticizing in his mind. And each of the people who were wired up, their brains signals started to go haywire and get really negative. So the negative thinking of someone, without even saying anything, affected these other people in a negative way. Yeah. We get that, don't we?
Yeah.
We are spiritual people. We affect each other. You are affected by other people's spirit where they're at. Isn't that true?
Yeah.
I have to say, especially women are more sensitive about this than men. Men can be a little bit thick.
That's a generality.
That's a generality, but I thought some women would say amen. Hallelujah. In counseling couples, I've many times had the situation where the woman told me, I feel there's something going on. I don't know what it is, but I feel there's something going on here. And oftentimes then I'll separate them and ask the men, is there something going on? And often, not often, always, there is something going on. We affect each other, just by who we are. We affect each other positively and negatively. So, it would be wonderful if we affected each other positively much more. Right? I heard about this Buddhist group in Thailand who practice something called metta prayer. And metta for them means loving kindness. So they practice loving kindness every day. And this is what they do. They sit themselves and meditate, and then they picture themselves. And they send good wishes to themselves. They tell themselves, I wish for you happiness and peace and joy and prosperity. I wish for you good relationship. They tell themselves that. Then they think of the closest person to them, their wife or husband or parents or children, and they picture. And then they do the same thing. I wish for you incredible blessings. I wish for you happiness and joy. And they do this for all the people who they want to pray for. Even people they barely know. The person who sells them gas at the gas station. I wish for them good feeling, for joy and happiness in their life. And what happens is, first of all, they change themselves. Because if you are thinking positively about other people, guess what? It will change you first. You will become a positive person, won't you? And then also when you meet the person that you are passing along blessings to, that affects your relationship. They feel good about you. They feel like, you are a person who's here to give me goodness. And even if they don't feel like that, it's good because you are giving blessings anyway. So this group says if you practice this for 30 days, you'll see huge change in your own life. Because you are practicing positively, living for the sake of others. You want to try it? We should try that.
I'm doing it.
We should be, positively giving energy to everybody we meet. And then, other people will testify about you. Wow, I really feel good about him or her. So, especially religious people, we should be like that. We should have a positive mind. We should be spreading love and blessings through our thinking, then through our words, then through our actions. We should be the most positive people because we've got the most going for us, don't we? When you meet somebody who you don't know, very quickly the conversation gets round to, what do you do? Right? What's your business? What are you into? And then people say, well, I'm a teacher, I'm a salesman. Oh, what do you sell? I sell panini or, coffee, or I sell something, or I'm in the service industry. You tell them what your business is. So, when people ask me, what do I do? I'm the pastor of a church. Okay, what's my business? What is our business as a church? What do you think?
Love the people.
Love the people. Bring happiness to people. Share God's love. Be negative? Actually, I boil it down to, we are in the relationship business. We are in the relationship to the Creator, the relationship to other people, and the relationship to nature, the world around us. Our business is relationships. Through our church, I found out about those relationships. I got a worldview from this church of how the world operates. And mostly, I got purpose for life. I got a reason to live my life. That is precious. You cannot go out and buy that. Understanding my purpose and how to make good relationships is precious. Amen. Therefore, we should smile a lot. Yeah. This is what our founder, Reverend Moon, says in his autobiography. Find your purpose, change your life. I became a completely different person when I began to love God. I loved humanity more than myself and was more concerned with the problems of others than the problems of myself. I loved everything God created. I deeply loved the trees on the hills and the fish in the waters. My spiritual senses developed so I could discern God's handiwork in all things of creation. If your spiritual senses are up, that's how you feel. I appreciate people, which is God's greatest handiwork, and I appreciate everything in nature. How many days do you go by and not appreciate nature? I just came from Hawaii. Gorgeous place, right? The tour guide who took us on a trip one day, she said, it's amazing how many people come here and don't see anything. Or they see it, but they don't really see it. Because their minds are so wrapped up in other things. And even they go on these little tours, and many people are so afraid of missing the bus when it leaves, they don't even watch what's going on. They're busy watching the tour guide. Is she ready to go? You know. When your spiritual senses go up, then you become sensitive to people and sensitive to everything around. Just recently I realized how many incredible birds are out by the marina. I bought this little bird thing, with all the pictures of the native birds so I can actually appreciate them. Hi, Mr. Blue Heron, how are you? I didn't know his name before, now I know. And even driving down from my house to here, I drive down this street, Farnsworth, and it's incredible, the trees there. The trees are just amazing. I've been driving there for years, I didn't even notice. Just the leaves were falling in my way, get out of the way. But now I drive down there and I want to turn around and go back again. The trees are just amazing. When your senses go up, everything becomes amazing. You become so clear about life. And when you're clear on your purpose, then you have energy for life. You don't have time to sit on the couch watching baseball. Soccer, that's different. That's part of the purpose.
Workout to start very soon.
But when you're clear on your purpose, you have energy for life. You want to get up in the morning. You want to get... When you're not clear on your purpose, I got no energy. I just got to go through the motions. I got to go to work and do this. But when you're clear on your purpose... But all of us have to train ourselves. We have to train our spiritual sensitivity to each other, to nature. It's a training course. It takes effort because we're easily pulled off track to become selfish. Father Moon said, there's no substitute for training. Don't depend on miracles to bring about restoration. We need training, not random training, but well-planned and practical training. Today is Palm Sunday, right? Palm Sunday, Jesus comes into Jerusalem, supposedly riding on a donkey. He rides on a donkey and the people sing Hosanna and they welcome him, according to the story. So he's welcomed initially. 1 week later, things turn back. And he ends up getting crucified. But Jesus comes to teach the people who they are. Comes to teach their relationship to the heavenly parent. He comes to teach them how to overcome their fallen nature, their selfishness. Maybe they didn't like that. But that's what he came to do. Our own founder, Reverend Moon, came to this country in 1965. At that time, almost nobody was here to meet him. I'm hoping the next week or two to meet a man called Gordon Ross. Gordon Ross drove Father Moon on the 50-state Holy Ground Tour in 1965. So Jesus came on a donkey, but Reverend Moon came on a Plymouth station wagon. They bought a brand new Plymouth station wagon. And he went around the country. And at first he was well received. And then he came back in 71, he went around 50 states speaking to her. And he received the keys to the city and proclamations, and crowds came out everywhere, and he was well received. He also came to teach us who we are. Teach us our relationship to the divine, and our relationship with each other. Through Father Moon, I began to understand who I am. I understood, what my life is for. How to make a relationship with the Creator. How to make a beautiful family. How to make relationships with other people and be productive in society. Those things are precious. Money can't buy those things. I also found out that life doesn't go in a straight line. Did you notice this? When I first met our church, I thought, okay, well, it'll just go like this, and then you end up in heaven over there. But I found that life goes in circles. And sometimes, you feel like you're really going in circles. But it's okay for life to go in circles as long as it's going in a spiral upwards. As long as you're aiming towards a purpose. As long as you're going towards something bigger than yourself. Then going in circles is okay because it's going upwards. It's horrendous when you feel like your life is going downwards. When you feel like life is sucking you like a drain, When you let the water out of a bathtub. People who have severe depression have told me that's how they feel about life. I'm being sucked down. It's a downward circle. So as religious people, we have to always renew our vision in what life is about. And have faith that we are moving towards it. That we are going in that direction, even though things are challenging and difficult. By having faith. Faith means believing in the ideal, believing in the goal. Even when it hasn't been manifested yet, I still believe in it. Then my life is going in circles, but going upwards. Going towards the ideal. You and I, brothers and sisters, have to continuously renew our own vision. You cannot just follow somebody else's vision. It has to be a vision that's alive in me. That the zest for life comes out of me, not to me. It has to be the motivation comes from within. That I am inspired. When you have that, there's nothing can stop you. Doesn't matter what challenges come, you are moving towards what you are inspired about. I use this motto for myself. I aspire to inspire before I expire. Aspire means, to seek or to achieve. I aspire to inspire before I expire. And then this week I thought I should put conspire in there. Is conspire a negative term, Dr. Durst? No? Okay, I'm going to use it. I aspire to inspire and conspire before I expire. I need work. But we want to conspire with other people who have a like-minded vision. People who are going in the same direction. People who have the same sense of we're going to accomplish something. If you conspire with people who are negative and like crabs in a bucket pulling you down, crabs, I told you this before, if you catch one crab, you need a lid on the bucket. If you catch a second crab, you don't need the lid anymore. Because the second crab will never let the first one climb out. As soon as he's climbing out, come back here. And then he tries to climb, no, come back here. People are like crabs in a bucket sometimes, Oh, who do you think you are? Oh yeah, you're going to do something great in the world. Do you know who you really are? Like crabs in a bucket. We need to conspire with people who have a vision. We need to ask each other, what's your vision? Where are you going? What do you want to do? I want to go with you. I want to do it with you. We need to conspire together and be all that God has given you to be. You have all the tools necessary to do something great with your life. But it also means I have to change some things about myself. This is where the coach comes in. Oh, we don't like that. The coach telling us, oh, we're hitting the ball wrong or we're going in the wrong direction. But a good coach, a strong coach is going to tell you, you're wrong. That's not the way to do it. You need to change something. I think Jesus, is portrayed often as meek and mild. Blonde hair, blue eyes, and floating along the water. Consider the lilies. But I can imagine, he's a carpenter. I can imagine he was tough. Cut that out. Stop that stuff. Who are you to do like that? Stop it. I bet he was tough. Don't you think so? I know the founder of this church was a tough coach. Do you ever experience that? He wasn't satisfied with you being so-so. He thought you could be amazing. And he wanted you to be that. He wanted you to, reach your potential. So, every day is precious. You'll never get today again. This is it. So don't waste it. Today will never come back, so make the most of it. And don't let any crabs in the bucket pull you down. Don't listen to people who want to make you sad and miserable. Conspire with people who have a vision like you. Today is the day. Today is the day. Turn to your neighbor and tell them, today is the day. No, tell them like you mean it. Today is the day. So let's renew our vision for ourselves. And let's work together to make this world into the place we want it to be. And let's not be pulled down. Let's move forward together. We'll conspire with each other to do great things. Amen? Amen. Please join me in prayer. Heavenly Parent, thank you for all the blessings you give to us. Thank you for lifting our minds out of the gutter and giving us hope and direction and purpose for ourselves. Thank you for these precious brothers and sisters. I pray we can appreciate each other, love each other, spread blessings to each other, and be kingdom builders all together. I pray in gratitude that you've loved us beyond our measure of capacity to receive your love. But today we want to open our minds and hearts to receive that love so that we can give it to others. Thank you for this beautiful day. We offer it back to you with joy and happiness and gladness in our minds and in our hearts. And I pray and report this with all my brothers and sisters. Adieu. Okay, please take a few minutes and discuss today's the day with your neighbor.